Hello students, let us start with the next chapter in plant physiology, that is about transpiration. What do you mean by transpiration? Plants lose water in the form of a water vapor, which helps in performing a number of functions in the plant body. So, how do we define the word transpiration? Fine, children. So, let us start. Transpiration is defined as loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. So, how do we define the transpiration? So, transpiration is defined as loss of water in the form of water vapor, fine, from the aerial parts of the plant. Or you can also define the same word in the other way, such as transpiration is the evaporative loss of water from aerial parts of the plant. So you can answer in any one of the way. So how do we define the transpiration in the other way? It is defined as a evaporative loss of water from aerial parts of the plant. Now, what do you mean by aerial parts of the plant? We know that the parts of the plant which are above the soil are known as the aerial parts. In fact, we find three structures in the aerial parts, such as stomata, followed by lenticel and cuticle. So, in fact, aerial parts of the plant refers to stomata, lenticel and cuticle. So, when you write the definition of a transpiration, you have to mention even these three words when you write about this definition. So, where do we find stomata? In fact, stomata are found in the epidermis of the leaf. Children, here you can look at the diagram of the leaf, right? So, in the entire lamina, we find a number of stomata, right? So, in one particular square centimeter itself, you may find hundreds to thousands of stomata found in one particular square centimeter of the lamina of the leaf. So you can imagine that there are innumerable number of stomata in the entire surface of the leaf, or you can say we call it as the epidermis of the leaf, which I will be teaching later on. Okay, so we find the stomata in the epidermis of the leaf, which helps in loss of water in the form of a water vapor. Right? Yes. Along with that, we also find certain structures on the stem of the trees. on the stem of the trees, we find one more structure known as a lenticels. So these are the lenticels which are found on the stem of the trees, especially the trees, not in the plants, okay, which also takes part in transpiration. Along with that, the third structure is known as a cuticle. So where do we find the cuticle? We find the cuticle on the surface of the leaf. On the upper and on the lower surface of the leaf, we find a thin waxy layer, and that thin waxy layer is known as a cuticle. So cuticle also helps in transpiration to some extent. Actually, cuticle prevents the loss of water by transpiration. Fine. So thus the three aerial parts refers to stomata found in the epidermis of the leaves, lenticels on the bark of the or on the stem of the trees, and cuticle on the surface of the leaf. So these are the three structures which actually take part in transpiration. Okay, so let us start. Let us start. How do these stomata, lenticel or cuticle take part in transpiration? Before that, let us study about the section of the leaf or types of the leaves. Yes, children, recall what you have learnt in your earlier classes. There are two kinds of leaves. The leaves which are found in the dicot plants, leaves which are found in the monocot plants. Fine. So all the dicot plants have a particular type of a venation, right? They have a particular type of a venation. What is the meaning of venation? Venation is nothing but the arrangement of veins in the leaf. Right? So what do the veins comprise? The vein comprises xylem followed by phloem, which makes up the vascular bundle which provides water and food. So in case of a dicot plants, or you can say in the dicot leaf, we have a venation. What do we call that venation as? That particular venation is known as a reticulate venation. We name it as a reticulate venation. So what is the meaning of reticulate venation? In case of a reticulate venation, children, you find the midrib, you find the veins, and all these veins are scattered. All the veins are scattered and it forms a network like structure. And such venation is known as a reticulate venation. Here in this leaf you can find the network like veins, the veins which are in the form of a network. Okay, such type of venation is known as a reticulate venation. Alright, now in case of a monocot leaves, we find the other type of a venation. So what do we call that type of a venation as? If you look at the veins are parallel to each other and we call it as a parallel venation. So looking at the diagram, you can identify the dicot leaf or a monocot leaf. Looking at the arrangement of the venation or the veins. So in case of a dicot leaf, all the veins are scattered in such a way that it forms a network like structure. Okay, or in case of a monocot leaves, the veins are parallelly arranged to each other. They are parallel to each other. All the veins are parallel to each other. We call it as a parallel venation. Okay, this is one of the way to identify the leaves from its external view. But when you look at the internal structure of a leaf under a microscope, you find some differences. As per the syllabus, we are supposed to learn only the dicot leaf but not the monocot leaf. Right? Yes. So let us start with the section of the dicot leaf. Right? So if you look at the section of the dicot leaf, you can find that, this is the layer known as a cuticle. I said one of the structure that helps in transpiration is cuticle. So what is the location of the cuticle? Cuticle is found on the surface of the leaves. It is found on the surface of the leaves, or you can say on the epidermis of the leaves. Especially in the xerophytic plants, in the desert plants, we have this cuticle which is more thicker. Okay, more the thicker the cuticle, less is the transpiration. So since the plants have to conserve the water in the desert areas, they have a thicker cuticle. So we may find this cuticle both on the upper surface of the leaf or on the lower surface of the leaf. So what is the location of the cuticle? Cuticle is found on the dorsal surface of the leaf or on the ventral surface of the leaf. What is the meaning of a dorsal surface? Dorsal surface means upper surface of the leaf. Ventral surface is the lower surface of the leaf. Now take an example. When you look at this leaf, okay, so this is the dorsal surface of the leaf, which is on the upper side, and this is the ventral surface of the leaf, which is on the lower side. So where do we have a cuticle? A cuticle is a thin waxy layer. Cuticle itself is a waxy layer which is secreted by the epidermal cells. So these cells are known as the epidermal cells, and these cells secrete the cuticle which covers the entire dorsal surface of the leaf or on the ventral surface of the leaf also. Right? Yes. So let us move on to the next part. You can find the first layer, that is on the dorsal surface of the leaf. We find the structure. We call this as a epidermis, and this is the upper epidermis. So a leaf has two surfaces, that is upper epidermis on the dorsal surface and lower epidermis on the ventral surface. So this is the lower epidermis. Okay, this is the upper epidermis. So here you find the upper epidermis and you find the lower epidermis. In between the upper and lower epidermis, we find these types of cells which are arranged. And if you look at carefully, these are a compactly arranged epidermal cells. In between the epidermal cells, we find the stomata. We find the stomata in between the epidermal cells. So, if they ask you the location of the stomata, what is the location of the stomata? It is found in between the epidermal cells. It is found in between we find the stomata in between the epidermal cells, or you can say in the upper epidermis or in the lower epidermis. So what is the location of the stomata? When they ask you the location of the stomata, you have to be very careful. It is found in the upper epidermis, in upper or lower epidermis of the leaf. In the upper or lower epidermis of the leaf. By chance, instead of writing in, if you write on, you lose mark, because we don't find the stomata on the surface. They are found in between the epidermal cells of epidermis, that is in the dorsal side or on the ventral side. So you have to be very careful. What is the location of the stomata? Stomata are found in the upper epidermis or lower epidermis of the leaf. So, if you look at the number of stomata, especially in the dicot leaf, found in the upper and lower epidermis, it varies its number. Just look at the number of stomata in the lower epidermis. You find 1, 2, 3, 4. You find only 2 in the upper epidermis. In the sense, in case of a dicot leaf, we find more number of stomata in the lower epidermis. In the lower epidermis, or you can say in the ventral surface of the leaf. Compared to the upper epidermis. Whereas in case of a monocot leaves, you find almost the same number of stomata both in the upper and lower epidermis of the leaf. That is the difference between the dicot leaves and monocot leaves with reference to the number of stomata. So in case of a dicot leaf, we find more number of stomata in the lower epidermis compared to the upper epidermis. Fine. So dicot leaf is also known by one more name, known as a dorsiventral leaf. It is known as a dorsiventral leaf. Now let us start with the other structures found in the leaf. If you look at just below the upper epidermis, we find the parenchyma cells which are compactly arranged, which are long cells, and these long cells which are compactly arranged are known as a palisade parenchyma cells. What do we name them as? We name them as a palisade parenchyma cells which have a numerous chloroplasts. They have a numerous chloroplasts. So, can you guess what is their function? Since they have a numerous chloroplasts, their main function is to carry out photosynthesis by trapping the sunlight. So just below the upper epidermis, we find the compactly arranged parenchyma cells known as a palisade parenchyma cells, which have a numerous chloroplasts to carry out photosynthesis. So just below this palisade parenchyma cells, we find the cells which are irregular in their shape, which have a lot of intercellular spaces. Here I said in this case the cells are compactly arranged, closely arranged. But here in these cells, the cells have a lot of intercellular spaces. And these cells are irregular in their shape. And these cells are known as a spongy parenchyma cells. So what do we name them as? They are named as a spongy parenchyma cells, mainly responsible for storing the glucose which is produced during the photosynthesis. Right? So these two cells are found in between the upper and lower epidermis, and these two cells can also be named as mesophyll cells. So thus you can say that palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma cells collectively named as a mesophyll cells. So where do we find the mesophyll cells? We find the mesophyll cells in between the upper and lower epidermis, comprising palisade parenchyma followed by spongy parenchyma. Right? So in the center of the leaf, we find the midrib. And in the midrib, we find the xylem followed by phloem. So xylem helps in the conduction of water, phloem helps in the conduction of food. So here you can find the xylem tissue in the center of the vascular bundle or in the midrib, or in all the side veins. In the center we find the xylem tissue which conducts water. Fine. So this is the lower epidermis containing again epidermal cells, and in between them we find the stomata. Right? So this is the section of the leaf. So thus you can say that the dicot leaf or a dorsiventral leaf comprises all these structures known as a cuticle. Below the cuticle we find the upper epidermis followed by palisade parenchyma cells which are compactly arranged containing numerous chloroplasts to carry out photosynthesis. Below them we find the spongy parenchyma cells which are loosely arranged, which are irregular in their shape, and they have a lot of intercellular spaces responsible for storing the food in them. And below that we find the lower epidermis. In between the epidermal cells again we find the stomata. Okay, so in the next video we will learn about the transpiration occurring through the stomata. Thank you.